So I think you've done a good job about talking about what do we need to do internally? How do we get the C-suite involved? How do we get an action plan started, right? Now we started out with you've got roles in the past on both sides of the fence, right? So now you're a BPO partner. How do you work into that environment? And how, as you're in the Comcast of the world, how do you involve your BPO? What's the BPO role in success in this action plan?
Yeah, it starts to ties a lot of the things that we have been discussing all together. So I did run global marketing for about 2.5 years with VXI Global Solutions. It's one of the top 10 largest contact center organizations in the world. They do a wonderful job across the world. And they did it right. And the best BPOs do it right. And you don't have to be the largest. You can be a boutique BPO in a nearshore environment and put a special emphasis on this white glove approach. Everyone talks about it, but what does it look like when you start to tactically deploy it? A couple of things. You want to have no daylight between you and the brand that you are supporting. You want to have a large contact center room that looks like it could be in-house at one of these companies. You want people to understand the brand storytelling that the brand guys at your company are spitting out every day, the PR releases, the communications. And you want to get the BPO and the people, the thousands of people who are working on a contract to buy in to all of that. That's all kind of high level, but it's high level, but it is not theoretical. It's very pragmatic with learning and development. It's pragmatic with how you build things out. In Comcast, when our small startup became adopted nationally, that happened all on one day. And that was a massive moment in time. So it's actually a really good story. It was greater than $100 million ad campaign for the launch weekend. There were airplanes flying up and down the Jersey Shore with banners describing the new product. It was called XFi. And today it's just Xfinity Wi-Fi. But that became a massive moment in time for contact centers, both domestic and abroad, to suddenly get inundated with crazy amount of phone calls. What is this? How do I use this? I don't understand. And it took us building extraordinary new things to make that successful. Here's a couple of the things we did in our blueprint. We created experiential centers around the country domestically. And these were rooms where agents during their break could go in and see how the product worked. There were flat screen TVs all around that would talk about all of our products. You could essentially press a button and you could get a 2-minute demo. And some of them were glitzy, but the ones that really mattered were created by product managers, people like you and me who were talking about the products. We even in a couple of them had a phone and you could pick up and call the product manager and either talk to them live or leave a message for them. And they had to get back to you to help explain how the product worked. That was an incredible commitment, time commitment, everything commitment to getting it right. But I'll tell you what, the signal of doing something like that in a contact center, no matter how brief, it was astounding because it made everybody inside the contact center ecosystem understand how crucial it was. Subsequently, for offshore, there's more limitations on what you could do. We could not create 1,000 square foot experiential center with wonderful LED lights, with a popcorn machine. And we did do that domestically. But instead, you could create kiosks and you could create the ability for folks to go in and understand how a particular product worked. This is key, this level of human touch and engagement and partnership, because if you think about in this particular example, I had a solution that also had security attached to it, the Comcast Digital Home. In nearshore and offshore environments, most of the humans who are working to solve customer service issues did not have the same infrastructure in their own homes. A person answering your question about security might not have a home security system, may have never seen a home security system. So how do you get all of that, call it empathy, call it practical learning and development, into their brain so it becomes second nature? That's how we start thinking about all these things.